It's our motto here in Portal 31. Always has been since the mine first opened up in 1917. I'm Mike McKenzie. They call me Mac for short. I'll be your guide for today. Up front is our motorman. He's driven this route so many times that he could do it with his eyes closed. This is a good thing because it gets pretty dark back in some of these tunnels. But don't worry, he's got it under control. Now, just so you'll know, we'll be going not just through the mine, but back in time.
Oh, okay, good.
This mine opened in 1917. The mine in the surrounding town of Lynch was built by a company called U.S. Steel. At the time, U.S. Steel was one of the biggest corporations in the world, and they needed coal to fuel their steel plants in places like Pittsburgh, Birmingham, and Gary. They had discovered that the coal here in this part of Kentucky was some of the best for steel making, so they built this town and opened this mine. By the time Portal 31 was closed in 1963, millions of tons of coal had been hauled out through the tunnel we're sitting in right now. Okay, everybody ready? Arms and legs inside. Safety first. Remember, it's the miner's motto.
Drop that. The flaps of death! Ah!
Today, we're going to visit some of the miners and see how coal mining has changed over the years. Our first stop, 1990. We're going to pay a little visit to one of the miners. His name is Joseph Marcelli, and he immigrated here with a lot of other miners from Italy and over 32 other countries. They came here looking for a better life.
Oh no.
Okay, Nelly, let's take a little break. Coming to America, it was a good thing I did. Even so, it was hard. So many, Mama, Papa, Giuseppe, and me. They are still insistent. I'm afraid I will never see them again. But my darling Maria and the bambinos, they won't have to live the way we did there. Back home, we work all day in the fields, in the hot sun. The bosses, the gabellotti, stood over us with guns, and each harvest they cheated us out of the grain we grew. And when the wheat prices went down, we starved. They treated us like animals, worse than animals. But here in America, it's good. So what if I have to buy my own tools and cutlass? The work, she is steady. The mine, she is cool and safe. You see to that, don't you, cantante? As long as I can hear your song, I know I'm safe.
Michael.
Hey, Joseph, did your lights go out too?
Not to worry, my young friend. You see, they are back now already.
Sure enough, and I'll be glad when that permanent light plant's up and running.
Oh yes, light is good. Lynch will be the first mine with electric all the time.
What do you say we have lunch together, Joseph? I'll come out to you, okay?
See, maybe there will be some lasagna from Maria for you. Once you have tasted Italian cooking, you will dream of nothing else.
Michael, hardcore stereotype.
Life is good. Me, Joseph Marzelli, and mia famiglia. We have a house with electric lights. My bambinos, Tony and Mario, their stomachs are full. They won't have to do what I did. To leave home at 12 so the others could have enough to eat.
Fire in the hole!
See, life is bellissimo. As long as I am careful and shore up the roof so it doesn't cave in.
Fire in the hole!
And watch my blasts so all goes well. I hope to work here a long time and maybe save enough money to bring over my brothers and sisters.
Fire in the hole!
Easy, calmate. It's all right. Aren't you used to that noise yet?
Michael. Stereotype. Michael.
As we move on, so does time. At our next stop, 10 years have passed. The year, 1929. The mining here at Portal 31 keeps going deeper and deeper into Black Mountain, and more coal keeps pouring out. We're changing how the mining is being done, too. By 1929, it isn't just picks and shovels anymore. Now, there are undercutters to cut into the coal seam. It's a process called conventional mining, and it's got 4 steps. But let's let Joseph explain them to you. Today, he's training a couple of new workers, and one of them just happens to be his own son, Tony.
Hey, Papa. Hey, Papa. Joseph, is that you?
Sì, Antonio, it's me. Who is that with you?
This is Henry Birch. He's from Birmingham.
Hey, hello, Henry, welcome. Is this your first time in the mine?
Yes, sir. And this one here's a nice one. When my family moved here from Alabama, my daddy said he worked in the mine so long, he had to pack his lunch in a tackle box so he could use the side drawers to hold his sandwiches. Yeah, yeah. I bet he and the guy brothers got real friendly. Tony here tells me that you're going to show us the ropes.
This is true. Soon you will know this mine like the street you live on. Now, let me show you the 4 basic steps. And Tony, what is the first one?
Sound on the roof. You treat it with respect. Always. Especially when you get to a new spot. Did you hear that tapping sound as we were coming down here? That was me sounding the roof. I was showing Henry here how to do it.
How did you show him?
Like this. And how you use your free hand to feel for any vibration. And if you feel a vibration, or if you hear a hollow sound, then you've got a roof that might give on you. And you've got to brace that up before you do anything else.
Yeah. I tried a few times to try to get the hang of it. It seems like a mighty important skill to have.
Oh, you bet. The roof, she is important. You should have seen poor Malloy last week when they carried him out. He had gone into an empty tunnel to eat his lunch, and the roof fell in on him and broke his collarbone. Now, his 6 kids, they'll be hungry for a while. You boys must always remember, respect the mine.
So, when the roof is good, sound, then what?
Then, you make an undercut with the cutting machine.
And after you make the undercut, you come along and drill several holes with the drill like Papa's been doing.
Then you put in the charge?
That's right. And make sure you got plenty of cord. And step back plenty far away.
And let her rip.
That's right. And after that, it's just a matter of putting the coal into the cars.
And you must always remember to fill them full. O'Toole's hum.
O'Toole's hum. O'Toole was the first mine superintendent here, and he didn't consider a car full until not another piece would sit on top. And that's why they call it O'Toole's hum.
So, were you part of that group that made the world record in 23?
We mined more coal here in one day than anyone had ever mined anywhere else in the world.
There were over 1,500 people on payroll that day, and they mined 7,089 tons of coal. That's 4.8 tons per person. And they said that the train that carried all that away was over 1.5 miles long.
Oh yes, here at Portal 31, we know how to mine the coal. You too will become good miners.
A lot of miners like Tony and Henry came and went through this mine. Times got pretty tough in the 30s. It was the Great Depression. It was the worst in 1932, when we might only work 2 days and 2 weeks. But U.S. Steel gave us credit at the company store, the United Supply Company, and we all grew gardens. I think I heard there were 900 of them. So we survived, and finally the mining picked up. The 30s were hard in other ways too. At the time, there was a lot of union organizing going on down here. But U.S. Steel wanted to keep the union out of Lynch. If you tried to join, they'd likely throw you out of town. But the organizers kept coming right back. We finally organized with the United Mine Workers in 37 and had our first strike in 39. Our next stop is 1943. Lots of things have changed. For one thing, the country's at war, and everyone is pitching in to help the war effort. You can hear the change. It's much noisier. The equipment is bigger, and there's a lot more of it. Underground telephones, roof bolters, coal haulers, and the latest mining innovation, the conveyor belt. Also, miners don't work alone anymore. Even old-timers like Joseph now work in crews. And several crews now work for a foreman. But safety's still our #1 concern. That's what you're going to see first. Men measuring the airflow and roof bolting, part of the safety precautions that are now an everyday part of mining. You'll see what I mean.
There, Ben. Hold it there. Okay. I got my side braced. You get yours.
Got it. Now let's test it. Hiram, how's the airflow?
Oh, let me see. Looks good. I think that did. That should be the last one we need in this section. This apparatus and the new fans should bring in enough air for the new top.
Man, this mine's getting big. Hope we can get the air back far enough.
We can do it. We always have before.
Yeah, this mine just keeps growing. You know, because they needed coal to make steel for the First World War. Now they've got us working 7 days a week to get enough fuel for this World War. You ever think about that?
I'm mostly just thinking about putting my pillow under my head.
You done over there, Ben?
Can you help me with Sergi here? I'm trying to talk some sense into him. The knucklehead won't admit that joining the union has been a good thing. Ever since we signed with the United Mine Workers in 37, we've had better, safer working conditions, not to mention better pay.
Yeah, when you are working. We had 6 strikes this year. I don't call being out of work. On strike wages, good pay.
But now we got a chance of moving up. Before the union, there was no way management was going to let a colored man do anything but junk work. But with the union, I've got a chance. If I can do the job, I can make a better wage.
Hey, he's got a point, sir. The union lets us have a say in how things run. And with this war going on, we all need to pitch in. Do what we can. Did you hear the latest number? 431 is down about 1,000 men since last year.
Don't we know it? That's less than 3,000 of us now. And more are leaving to join every day. You know Billy Marzelis, Joseph's grandson. The minute he got out of high school, he signed up. He's on his way to the Pacific right now.
You know, I've thought about it myself, but I'm 38, just too old.
Not too old, man. The reason they won't let you join is because you've been a miner so long. They need you here in the mines. Somebody's got to provide the fuel for the factories so we can win this war. That's our job.
Got it. That one will hold for sure. It felt pretty solid.
Hey, those steel bolts will last forever.
Yeah, this is a lot better than the old post and beam method. Can you remember how hard it was to set those posts by yourself?
Oh man, what a backbreaker. But with these roof bolts, unless there's a mountain bump, they'll hold a lot of weight.
And we'll have a lot fewer roof falls.
So Sergi, you think we can set 3 more before lunch?
I'm game if you are.
Roof falls have always been a major cause of death and injury. These new roof bolts are steel. They work like the toggle bolts you might use around the house. You drill them in, and as you pull the drill out, they'll spread out and hold the roof. They make the job a whole lot safer.
See you tonight at the game?
I'll be there. I want to see that new picture they got from Gary. I hear he's something.
Boy, do we need it. It's about time somebody showed over the good on. Venom's beat us 3 games running.
You better believe we're going to break that streak.
You got that right. You know these 9-hour shifts are great. Now we've got time to do stuff, like go to baseball games.
Unless you're also stuck in the night shift.
Well, we won't have double shifts forever, not once the war's over.
Yeah, thanks to the union. The company never would have done it on its own. Shorter days, hospitalization. The good old UMW, they sure made it happen.
So, Clay, how do you like these new shaker pavilions? They sure beat hand loading.
You can say that again. They're slicker than greased lightning. They really get the job done fast.
They make it kind of like a tractor, don't they? Just moving the coal along. All we gotta do is load her up.
And keep her fed. Hey, you folks have got to back up. We've got to get these cars out of here. Don't you know there's a schedule to keep? We got to help win this war.
You know how many days we was out on strike last year?
No, but I have a feeling you're going to tell me.
64. 64 days I could have been making money. I don't know how much longer I'm going to stay here. I think I just might join my brother and his family up in Detroit. The work's steadier there.
They have unions up there too.
But there's a war on. Do you really think we should be stopping work to go on strike?
Good point. By the way, I heard your little brother was thinking about enlisting.
Bobby? He's been talking about it a bunch. He's thinking about trying to qualify for sharpshooter. He'd be good at it too. All the squirrel hunting he's done.
Fact was, lots of miners weren't allowed to enlist during World War II. Mining was a protected industry. That meant you were exempt from the draft when your skills were needed for the war effort at home. And after November of '43, unions weren't allowed to strike. But the